All right, it is indeed a very, very good evening to you. It is a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We brought it back. Now, tumesema turudishe kidogo, maana nilikuja nyuma kidogo, ikuja siku ya Alhamisi ama siku ya Thursday, na tumeanza at 7 p.m. the 16th of March 2023. It is 7 p.m. the 16th of March 2023. Tarehe ni 16 mwezi ni wa 3 mwaka 2023. Natumai kwamba uko salama. This is Men Only. We get to have a conversation around the things that affect men. And tonight we want to talk about the beliefs. The beliefs that
destroy men, yes.
The beliefs that destroy men. Are you going to borrow 10 of them? Last week we were talking about Last week we
were talking about the cold hard
truths. And we covered actually 12, I think. 12 hard cold truths we covered last week. So today we want to speak about the beliefs that damage men. The beliefs that damage men should be. It's a damage man.
Well, yes, the beliefs that destroy men.
That destroy men. The beliefs that destroy men. And we're going to cover 10 of them tonight. Tukona Jacob Aliet, Jamawa Unplugged. If you have not bought your Unplugged copy, please talk to us this evening. Kama hujapata Unplugged copy, you're missing out. There's a manual for life as a man. Kama ni mwanaume na una Unplugged, then mambo yako inakuwa ngumu kidogo. We'll need to revisit and see what is wrong with you. You need to get your copy of the Unplugged. Please talk to Jacob Aliet. You can inbox him on his socials, or you can reach him on number
0716 701 159.
0716
701 159.
159.
Yes.
All right, 716-701-159. 716-701-159. All right, good evening. And karibu, when you join in, please like when you like, we get to know that you're watching us. And after please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. When you join in, please like when you like, we get to know that you're watching us. And after you like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. Good evening to you, Jacob.
Yes, good evening, Gerald.
How's your week been like?
Very good, very good. Tumeanza mvua jana. So we are very happy. Vumbi imeisha. And now we are looking forward to the land becoming green and very lush. So nata shida ya maji pia itaisha.
Kabisa.
Ya shida ya maji itaisha. Ya watoto wataenda what we call Dufumpararo.
Dufumpararo.
Huko ushago. Tulikuwa tunaenda Dufumpararo kwa river. So I'm sure they'll be having that kind of free swimming very soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wiki imekuwa vipi? What are some of the I've seen you've been sharing some reviews from Men Unplugged. What are some of the reviews that really got you?
Yeah, so some of the reviews have the highlights of the reviews. Of course, there was one by Bonnie Kalwale, the bullfighter. He sacrificed some time from his busy schedule to write a short review. So thank you very much, Senator. There was a guy who he said that his parents have been pressurizing him to get married. Okay. And he said that after reading Unplugged, he went and said he's not going to marry until he's 35. So I was thinking about that, and I thought maybe he was inspired maybe by the story of Njonjo. You know, Njonjo married when he was 50. And I think even Jomo Kenyatta, when he married Mama Ngina, he was also late in his 50s. So, and when you understand the path that a man follows when he's growing before he hits his financial stride, men have greater longevity. And also it's also a fact that as a man it's very difficult to have a masculine frame when you do not have a stable source of income. So it's important to be grounded first and to actually solidify yourself as a man before you get married, so that when you the woman that you get, she's supposed to enter your frame. You're not supposed to start creating everything from scratch with her. It creates a big challenge. So I think that was okay. Of course, the kind of understanding and knowledge we have, many parents or even people who are older than us, they do not understand this. And I've seen so many cases, including those of people who are very close to me, who have been, their lives have basically gone into a train wreck, or have become train wrecks, because they got married when they were very young, before they were ready. And you know what normally happens when you marry very, very early when you're still young? Of course, you're young, and maybe the girl is also young, and the kids start coming in. if you did not finish your schooling properly, you'll find that you have no room for maneuvering, for saving for school fees and so on. Because now you have responsibilities. You're not going to give someone your children to take care of you and your wife because you want to go to school. So in a way, there's a way in which it really helps you. So I think if anyone has the opportunity, it's good to build yourself first, be stable before you get married, so that you can be able to take care of your wife and your children.
Yeah. But now look at the people that you've actually referenced on. That is Mzee Jomo Kenyatta and Charles Njonjo. Yes. How were they not ready? Because these were people from means. Yes. Look at Charles Njonjo. He was a guy who came from privilege. Yes. Jomo Kenyatta as well. He was among the first Africans to go to school and maybe even get a job in Nairobi as a water meter reader. You were a very serious person at that time. So these were men of means, or people who had an unstarted life. So how were they not ready?
Yeah, I didn't say they were not ready, but what we learn from them is about the time, the timeline, because we put so much pressure on, for ourselves. Many times young guys say, oh, if you marry maybe if you marry in your 30s, you're not going to be able to play with your children, you'll be very old, or you'll take them to school using your pension money and things like that, which is not true. People need to sit down and just study how a man's life evolves, and especially when you hit your financial stride. And if you marry in your mid-late 30s or even 40s, it is still okay. Depends on when you feel you're ready. Because the important thing about marriage is when you have your masculine frame solidified. You can even have money, by the way, but if you don't have a masculine frame, then it's normally a big challenge. And that's the problem we see with our brothers who are in the States or in Europe, who come back to Africa to get a kienyeji woman, and then they end up getting poor results. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not just about finances; it's also about being able to be solid and be in control.
Yes.
Right. Dennis Kiona anasema kuliandaje kule Kedoa brother. Kedoa bwana, nilifanyiwa ile kitu. Huo mama ambaye uliniuzia molasses iko kama asali Kedoa. Mungu anakuona. Nimekuachia Mungu atadili na wewe. Haya. Kwa nikia anasema amazing, this is super show. Santa Sikli Masai, right on time. Thank you. Johnny Achaga, good to see you my brother. Good evening Abraham Koske. Good evening Gerald. Good evening to Hilary Mochokor. Good evening. Good evening. Hope you doing well Judy. Judy amefika pia, I'm waiting. Asante sana. Let's go straight to the conversation of the night. And it's about the 10 beliefs that destroy men.
Yes.
Belief number 1.
So belief number 1 is that when you elevate a woman, she's also going to elevate you. I'm going to start with an example that there's a story I have narrated in Unplugged. So for those who are not read in Unplugged, this is a bit of a spoiler. So we have this gentleman who is looking for a wife. And because he's someone who is sort of socially awkward, he decides to go for a kienyeji girl. So he sends emissaries, they go to the village, they get a young girl who dropped out in Form 2, and they bring her to him. And he looks at this girl and he says, okay, fine, she's very shy, but she can make a good wife for me. So the parents agree, and they start their life together. So after a while, this guy says, this girl is very bright. I cannot just let her waste away at home like this. So he decides to take her to teachers training college. So it turns out she's pretty bright. She gets a certificate. She's one of the best students. And unfortunately for this guy, he loses his job. Now, when he loses his job, he loses it at a time when this girl is already in the teacher training. They have 2 kids at that time. And then what happens is that this girl is taken for teaching practice. When this guy is now running, he opened a business for watching videos, a video entertainment business, and a car wash. Then she started ghosting him. She's in Nairobi, he's in Kisumu. So after a while, he came to Nairobi and he found that this woman actually is having affairs. And she was very disrespectful to him. And she basically told him that she's no longer interested in marrying him. And the marriage eventually fell apart. She actually took a lot of household goods. This has happened a lot. It also happens a lot in form of, we've seen so many cases. Even last week, there was a case of a guy who stabbed a woman. I think 7 times she died because he had paid school fees for her. And when she graduated, she told him she's not his type. So, gentlemen, what normally happens is that when you elevate a woman, she elevates her expectations of you. That is what happens. So if you remain the same, the desire actually disappears. So what happens is that for guys, for example, if you want to take your wife or your girlfriend for higher learning, if you are someone who is an O-level graduate and you're taking her to a degree course, make sure you also get a degree course, or better yet, a master's degree course if she's going for a bachelor's. Because once she gets exposure and she gets elevated, either in terms of academics or even in terms of career. This also happens in career, where guys, you find you're working and you try to hook her up with a very good job, and the job she ends up getting is better than yours, and you're remaining in the same position. That also creates a lot of turbulence in relationships. So when you elevate a woman, what happens with her is she elevates her expectations of you. So if you remain the same, you're not going to be able to feel or play the same role. You won't feel the same shoes, and you're not going to play the same roles. This has destroyed several marriages, and it has ended up making so many men actually commit homicides, because the outcomes are actually the opposite of what they expect. Most men normally expect that when you elevate a woman, she actually either elevates you or she brings a contribution into the relationship increase. And that does not always turn out to be the case. Yeah.
But does it mean that there are no cases of women who have actually who have paid back?
Yes.
Ambao wamerudisha mkono. Do you think there are no women ambao wamerudisha mkono?
Actually, I should have started with that disclaimer. Most of these things that we are going to talk about, it does not necessarily mean all women do that. There are always exceptions. However, they are not the majority. They are not the majority. So if you want to take a risk, you can take the risk, but do it from an informed position. Know that the possibility that it may put you into turbulence is actually higher than having a conform, because a part of it is also because of hypergamy. Because once a woman's status goes up, her demands or her expectations of her man also go up. They don't remain the same. So if you remain the same, and I've also seen this in, I had a couple who are my friend. The guy is a bachelor's graduate. They met, they were graduate trainees in a bank, and started a very good marriage, 2 kids later. This guy still has his first degree. The wife goes, she gets a master's degree. She goes, she gets a PhD. This guy still has a bachelor's degree. Their marriage ended. Yeah. So of course, there are women who outperform their husbands in terms of career and even academics, and they stay, but it's not the majority.
Yeah, the minority.
Yeah.
All right, that is belief number one, that when you build up a woman or when you elevate a woman, she will also elevate you. Line number 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. All right. Line number 2.
The second one is what we call the one-itis or the soulmate myth. One-itis, the reason it's called one-itis is because the way it presents itself, it's almost like a mental disorder or a psychological problem. So one-itis is this belief we picked when you are growing up, and it's also so much in Western popular media, mainstream media. It is a belief that when you are born in this world, God has placed a certain person somewhere in this world for you. That person is for you and you alone. And when you find that person, you're going to be very happy. And this person who is meant for you will never leave you. Even if you fail, even if you go into trouble, this person will always be loyal to you. And this person will never cheat on you. Okay? So most people, when they grow up, we pick these things in romance novels, in movies, and so on. We are told that, like if someone disappoints you or gives you a heartbreak, you say, that one was not meant for you. When you meet the person meant for you, that person will make you very happy and will never leave you. So it happens to be the case that when many men meet a woman, and this woman is ticking all the boxes, and this woman is so beautiful, and this guy is in love with her, in his mind, he decides that this woman actually is the one. So what happens is the man falls in love with this woman completely. And most guys, when they're in this position, they give this woman everything. And these are the guys who they take her to school. They don't guard against any risk. They'll sell even the property that they inherited, give her to this woman, and so on. Now, in most cases, what happens? Of course, we know that even from what I just said earlier, when you elevate her, our expectations also elevate. So most guys end up failing. And actually, this is also related to what we spoke about last week when we were talking about the burden of performance and the ideal woman. Most men, when they meet this ideal woman, they think that they can get away with laziness, okay? They stop working out. Even if they lose a job, they think this woman will still love them. And then when now this woman's female nature actually shows up in the sense that she leaves him for a better man, or she tells him, you are not my type, most men commit homicide. Okay. They commit suicide, they commit homicide, they end up in jail, or they become drunkards because they get depressed. So that is one of the most damaging beliefs that men have, that there's only one woman for you.
There are two.
No, there is no one woman for you.
So all men who are women, they are not their women.
Yeah, so the person that you end up with is a person that you can get along with, is a person that you can coordinate things with, is a person who can be loyal to you. The person who respects you and who also feels that you are actually of value to them. That is a person that you can make a life with. It does not mean that that is the only person, and it does not mean that there is a metaphysical force that has made that person connect with you. Yeah.
So is it possible also to meet, sometimes you hear people say, sometimes you meet the love of your life when you're already with another love of your life. So is it possible that you'll meet different people that you can click with over time?
Of course, you can be attracted to more than one person at the same time. Yeah, so the other, actually, we call it one-itis, we call it one-itis. Even this love of your life concept is also linked to one-itis. And it's a very dangerous concept, because in most cases, for men normally move from a point of scarcity, but women are moving from a point of abundance, in the sense that when a man is young, he doesn't have resources. And so women who want him are very few. But when a woman is young, so many men want him. So it's very easy for a man to invest all his desires, feelings, hopes, and dreams in one woman and risk that disappointment. So men need to understand that there is no single woman who is meant for you. You need to understand that this woman can actually leave you, even though you believe that she's the one for you. Yeah.
Okay, they can live. All right, that is a belief number 2 on 90s. Belief number 3.
Belief number 3 is that there is reciprocity in relationships. And most of this also comes with nice guys. They believe that if you are nice to somebody, they are going to be nice to you. So many men normally approach relationships believing that if you give so much to a woman, then she's also going to give back so much to you. But it doesn't work like that. And the person actually who articulates this very well is Robert Briffault. In Briffault's law, he says that anything that you do to a woman has diminishing returns. So if you buy a vehicle today, for example, in another 2 weeks or 2 months, that vehicle doesn't have so much currency.
Doesn't have value.
It doesn't have value. You need to do something else. And also at the same time, as much as the value is diminishing, it's also important to remember that it doesn't mean that she's also countering what you're doing. This is just one way, okay? So even in a situation where you are the one giving everything, the things that you're giving actually have diminishing returns. But many men actually think that if you give her 50, she'll give you 50, or she'll give you 30. It doesn't happen like that. So men need to remember that. And the reason this belief is damaging to most guys, you'll find somebody actually can, if he's someone who is salaried, he takes a loan, maybe buys his wife a car, or decides to build his wife's parents a house, thinking that the wife will understand, or that the wife is going to help him do another project because of the investment that he has actually made. And this actually does not turn out to be true. So many men have gone into financial ruin because of this. And there are several cases where actually the women abandon ship. They tell you, as much as you took this loan, I did not ask for it. You are the one who decided to do it. And now we cannot live like this.
Okay. Yeah. But now, does that mean that you're telling men not to do things for their partners? Because where do you draw the line between doing, because this is your partner, yes, where do you draw the line between doing things for your partner and also holding back because you believe that they might not be able to reciprocate?
Yes. So that's a good question. That's where this thing people keep saying, tender member, nenda zako. Yeah. So do good things for her, but don't expect that they'll respond in equal measure. that does not happen. And to approach a relationship with that kind of mindset itself is also damaging, because if also women don't like men who, because they've done something for you, then you also must reciprocate. So guys need to understand that when you're doing something for her, do something because you like doing it and not because you expect something to be done in return because of what you've done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do it, but don't without expectations. So the key thing or the flux in this is do not expect anything.
Yeah.
Do things without expectation. All right. Belief number 4.
Yes, number 4, this is very important. We are told that women play hard to get. And this is one of the worst beliefs that men can ever live under. Women don't play hard to get. And what normally happens, let me tell you how this destroys men. In most cases, when someone sees a woman that they are attracted to, they approach this woman. And some of these women can reject you outright. So where she tells you, no, I have a boyfriend. Maybe you know it, she doesn't have a boyfriend. You already asked around, so you know she's lying. So most guys reject, or rather not reject. Most men refuse to accept all the rejections, and they keep pursuing these women. They're even placed on the friend zone. They are told, you know, you are not my type, but these guys don't care, because they were told women always play hard to get. So it's like everything she's telling you, you take it as not honest. Okay. So what normally happens is when a woman actually tells you no, they normally mean no. Most cases they actually mean no. It means no in the sense that she does not find you attractive. She doesn't think you are the best option for her. In most cases where a woman is telling you no, there's probably someone that she thinks is better than you, who is more viable than you. And when most guys persist in pursuing such women, eventually she can say yes. Okay? She can either say yes because the guy that she wanted got away, or she was disappointed in a relationship, or she's just, said, okay, what the hell? Or she can also be getting pressure from home, but you need to get married. So you say, okay, fine, this guy's been bothering me. Let me give him a chance. Now, what normally happens, that means it's a relationship that is starting on a wrong footing, where this woman does not desire you. She's accepting you maybe because she's been disappointed. Yeah, or you pushed it. But in most cases, it's because the person she wanted got away. So those relationships now start from a situation where this guy is told to prove himself. So she'll tell you, okay, you really want me. I want a wedding of 5 million. I want you to take to my parents 50 heads of cattle. My bride price is 2 million. And I also want you to buy me a Range Rover. And then before that, I also want you to propose for me in Dubai. You see, so she's going to keep all these qualifiers for you. And that's what we normally say, that beta males must be punished, and they are punished severely. So she's going to put conditions for you because she doesn't value you, and because she can risk losing you. And that's why we tell guys when
she can afford to lose.
She can afford to lose because she doesn't want you. But you see, most guys, because they are not educated, because they don't understand this kind of conversation we're having, they really toil to try to meet those expectations. They're going to take loans. They'll talk to their friends, help me with this, help me with that, until she does it. And when the relationship now starts, in most marriages now that start in this kind of footing, this woman treats you with contempt because she doesn't respect you. She has no desire for you. And she doesn't value any intimacy from you. In most cases where you find men saying, happy wife, happy life. These are the men who settle for those kinds of marriages, where they got into a relationship with a woman who does not want them. So this woman will force you to do everything, and that's why we say she makes you her bitch. She will do this, you do that. Now you're just taking orders. That is what happens. So men need to understand, women don't play hard to get. A woman who loves you is going to make things very easy for you. In fact, you won't have to struggle. If you have to struggle to get a woman, to talk to her, to get her to respond to your text messages, that woman does not love you. Yeah.
Okay. But now, two things. You'd agree with me that, a woman can like you. But they will not take it easy on you. Like, they'll not just make it so easy for you that when you just came and said, Janet, I like you. And they say, I like you too. Sometimes for the sake of the aunt, or for the sake of, in the interest of them retaining some level of propped up dignity, they would want to take you through that process of you making that intention known over time. It happens a lot of times. So at what point do you cannot be a man, okay, unasema jana tunakupenda, you anakataa, unaenda kwa Karo nakupenda, the next day hajasema, you move on. At what point do you know imetosha?
Okay, so now, this is a good question. Guys need to understand this. You're supposed to approach women but never pursue them. When do you approach a woman? You approach a woman when she sends you what we call choosing signals. Maybe she has not sent you any choosing signals. You can actually approach her without her sending you any choosing signals. But the important thing is once you've declared your intentions to a woman, that should be the end of that interaction until she counters. So what guys normally do is that after approaching a woman, maybe you've told her, I'd like us to have coffee, this is my number. Or you've actually set up a date. She told you, okay, we'll meet at Java, and then she flex. She says that, I got busy, my boss called me, I went to work. Guys still pursue. If this woman is interested in you, she's going to actually create or try to set up another date. These are things people don't understand. So guys really need to remember that women can actually accept to go out with you for different reasons. It doesn't mean she likes you. And there is what we call shit test. If a woman is shit testing you also a lot, it also means that her desire for you is not as high as you'd want it to be. A woman who likes you is going to make things very, very easy for you. Yeah, of course, there is no case where you will tell a woman maybe openly outright that you want her. We normally say that a date is a socially acceptable way of telling a woman that you want to have sex with her. So what we normally do is you set up a date, you talk to her, talk about her career, talk about her hobbies and so on. You get to know her, and then the relationship will progress. Yeah.
So don't just approach, don't pursue.
Don't pursue. Pursuing is very, very wrong. Women know what they want, by the way.
So how do you know you're now pursuing? Umepita mahali approach.
Good question. Once you set up a date, or even once you've approached, maybe you're in a club, you tell her, hi, I like you, so what's your name? I'm so and so, and this is my name. Wow, okay. You look like a nice person, and I'd like us maybe to see if we can get to know each other better. This is my number, or what's your number? You maybe ask her for her number. She can give you a fake number, or she can take your number. If she takes your number and you call and set a date, if she comes, that is good. If she doesn't come, it is up to her to find, to look for you. But most guys, maybe she doesn't pick your calls or she doesn't respond to your texts, but guys keep sending texts. Guys keep calling them. Guys keep asking them for dates. That's pursuing. You should never pursue. Yeah.
Okay. I believe number 5.
Yeah, number 5 is that you should marry someone because you love her. Okay? Many men, and love is an emotion. And emotions can be pretty chaotic, by the way, because you can fall in love with someone because of what you're going through. Maybe you're feeling very lonely, you're feeling very down, and this person is there to comfort you. And then you fall in love. But this person you're falling in love with could be a very damaged person. Maybe they are a drug user, they are an addict, or they are a violent person, or they are, they're messed up because of whatever has happened in their past. So most guys think that because you love this woman, then you can have a good relationship with her. That is also a big mistake many men make. It is not enough to love. It's not enough to love somebody. You must look at their character. You must look at their background. You must look at what station they are in life. Okay? Maybe they are too much ahead of you, or maybe they are too far behind you. So you need to gauge all these things so that you can make a match. We normally say that you need to be evenly yoked. Okay? Don't marry someone who is so far behind or someone who is too far ahead. You should actually be equally yoked so that you can contribute well into this relationship. You can have conversations that are meaningful, and so that this relationship also can actually be something that is of value to you. So it is not enough to love someone. Some people, for example, fall in love with prostitutes. Okay, of course, a prostitute is also a human being and can actually be loved by somebody, but they also come with a lot of damage. So if you're willing to take up that damage, it is very important to be aware of what you're getting into. But it is not enough, because I've seen even cases where a young man is in love, okay? They take this girl to the parents. The parents are able to look at the girl, maybe the background, they tell her, no, this one tumekata. Anasema, dadi hapana, mimi nampenda, ati mimi wazazi wangu kama mimi ampendi, the guy decides now he's going to go on his own. So remember that it is not enough to love somebody. Love is a feeling that actually dies. It comes and goes, and it's actually the character of this person that is going to be able to make it possible for you to have a sustainable relationship. It is not the emotion.
So love is not enough. Now, then what do we tell men to look at when they are looking for a partner, they're looking for a wife? What then do we look at? Because if love is not, because that's the first instinct. It's the first thing that would make you consider settling down with someone. How you feel about this person, what do you feel towards them, how they make you feel, how you feel around them, the emotions that get attached to them. So if that is not what should be, then what is important?
What is important is the character. Okay, of course you need to have the attraction. They need to be people who can, someone who can make you feel attracted to them. They should be arousing, because it's also going to be a terrible relationship if you don't feel aroused by that person. So character is very important, and as I said, also for men, the age is also very important. If you marry a woman who is older than you, you're going to have turbulence ahead. You need to have a woman who is of a suitable age that you can get along with and that you can coordinate things with. If the woman feels that she has more lived experience than you, it's going to be difficult for her to respect you. So guys need to remember those things. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Belief number 5.
Yeah, belief number 5 is that, and when you go everywhere, you'll be told, a woman will tell you, what kind of a man do you want? She will tell you, I want a nice guy. Women don't want nice guys. That is what guys need to understand. Many women, when you approach a woman or when you get acquainted, and the image you give across is that you are a nice guy, very compliant, maybe you act like you go to church, you don't drink, you don't do any bad things. This woman is going to say, hey, this guy, how come he's so perfect? He must be pretending. So many women, first of all, they feel that nice people are not authentic. Okay? So you don't need to be nice. You just need to be yourself. Be a gentleman, but be yourself. That means don't let anyone walk over you. Okay? You need to be able to say no. You need to be able to assert yourself. And you need to be able to stand for your own interests. So being a nice guy does not necessarily mean just saying yes and agreeing to everything that the woman wants. And it does not mean you allow somebody to abuse you. For example, you go to a club to drink, she orders the most expensive drinks and you're paying and things like that. She's going to start losing respect for you almost immediately. So women don't want nice guys. Women want gentlemen who are firm, who can assert and put in place boundaries, and men who can say no to them. Yeah.
Okay. So, but now, there's also the danger of just saying no and being assertive for no particular reason, but just to prove that you're in control or you are solid as a man. Where do you draw the line? Because there's also the risk of being toxic.
No. The toxic doesn't come in. Actually,
being toxic.
Men are not toxic. Now,
men are not toxic.
What you need to realize is that the woman is there's something the woman is looking for in you as a man. She's looking for protection and she's looking for provision. And a woman is protected. She feels protected when she's with a strong, confident man. Okay? Not with a weak man. So presenting yourself as nice basically means you're presenting yourself as weak. So it's not something to be afraid of. And scarcity mindset is what makes many men make blunders when they are approaching women. You need to understand that there's plenty of fish in the sea. And if you approach a relationship with the scarcity mindset, you're not going to be able to stand on your feet and also show that you have some backbone. So guys need to remember that. It doesn't mean you say no, but if it doesn't make sense, or if you have a request that is not reasonable, you need to be able to say no as a man without any hesitation and without any apology. Have your priorities right, put yourself first, and also put your purpose first. That is what women want. And then this woman can fit into your purpose. Yeah.
So it's not possible to also put yourself first as you also put your relationship first?
No, it's not possible. It is not possible.
All right. Okay. I'm seeing a brother here has arrived, Silas, as we're trying to get his camera running. Now, belief number 6. Then nangoja kijana ingie form.
Belief number 6. And this one is particularly for my Luo brothers. Okay, they believe that you must spend money on a woman if you love her. We have a song in Angla says ngamiero emidine asara. It means that the person that you love is the person that you go asara for. I think even in Nigeria there's this song chop my money, if there's a woman that if you love a woman, even if she chops your money, there's no problem. That's a very, very dangerous and crazy belief. Okay, because it makes men lend themselves to exploitation. And I'm telling you, there are women out here, they are masters at that exploitation. She'll want you to take her to Nakuru on a helicopter, and from Nakuru you go to Dubai, and she wants a Mercedes, she wants this. And if you have this kind of mindset, but then you'll be broke. And once you're broke, she leaves you. So that is what happens. Men need to understand that you cannot negotiate desire. If a woman desires you, you will not have to spend money on her. In fact, in most cases, if you have to spend money on her, either you have a problem or she doesn't desire you. So that is one of the most dangerous beliefs that my men have. And it makes many men put themselves in financial ruin, actually, just because they are trying to prove that they love a woman. And in their understanding, you prove your love by spending money on her, and that is a very dangerous belief.
So they should not, your money should not be chopped.
Yeah, your money should
not be chopped.
Yes.
Telling these little brothers, wanasema wako wanapenda, wanasema nataka umondi.
Yes, and you'll see the way they are crying. They are crying on social media, the way these women have done them in after they've spent so much money. The money doesn't mean anything. The money, we normally tell guys that money buys comfort, not desire. If you need to spend money on her, she'll be comfortable. By that I mean she'll desire you. What you want is for her to desire you. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the skills that you use then to broker desire? You
don't need to broker desire. And these are the things now you need. What you need to do, you need to invest in yourself. Okay. You need to invest in yourself, be confident, be valuable in the society. Okay? You need to be able to have your resources. Have your money in order. Okay? Don't be a broke fellow. And so long as people respect you in the society and you're confident and assertive, the woman is going to find you attractive. You don't need to spend any money. The money you need to spend is on yourself. Okay? Spend on your looks, spend on your gym membership so that you can build some muscle. Spend on getting a particular skill so that you are a skilled person who can be productive. That's how you should spend your money. Because women will pick the best men in the society. They look around and say, oh, this guy is competent. This is the one I want. Yeah.
But do you think you're contradicting yourself then? Because you're saying we look for money, but you're also telling us not to spend the money on these women. So we look for money so that we can take it away.
Yes. Spend it on yourself, Don't spend on her to attract her. Of course, you'll have to spend on her because ultimately, like when you get married, you as a man, your role is to provide and to protect. So you need to spend on her. But don't spend on her as a means of getting her to desire you. That's what we are saying. Because many men, when they find a woman who they want, they think if they spend money on this woman, the woman will desire them. That does not work. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Silas, before you came in, we've been talking about the beliefs that destroy men. And I think we are now at belief number 6. Maybe you can just run Silas through the beliefs so I can be following. So what are some of the things, some of the beliefs that you've picked up? What are some of the beliefs that you picked up? And what do you think?
I think Jacob has covered pretty much the entire ground. Yeah.
What are your thoughts? And I think the biggest argument with Jacob is story ya pesa. The
thing most men need to know is that the modern woman doesn't care about love internally, like the love that you have in the house, like when doing things together. What they want is, like they say, they're doing it for the gram. Like they want to showcase that lifestyle that my husband can take me to Mombasa, my husband can throw this kind of bash, my husband can take my kid this kind of schools, So she really doesn't care about, like most of them don't care what you do in the house. So like they're doing it for the gram. And that's why we're really telling men to be a bit responsible. That's why we're telling men that to use their money responsibly, to do the right thing, not to impress a woman. You can never impress a woman with money. Like you can never use money to impress a woman. Yeah.
You can never use money to
impress a woman. She'll chop the money unless you're self-aware that ni pesa tu natumia tu ni pesa yangu natumika to get to with a certain end. But when it means love and serious matters, we always tell men to use the money for the right thing, not to try and impress her.
Okay.
Yeah, however much she tries to push you to it's called what is it called, Jacob? Like that lifestyle thing, like you're living for the lifestyle, like you have to live in a certain neighborhood.
Yes.
Children have to go
Doing
to
it for
school.
chasing the Joneses.
Yeah, chasing the Joneses.
Yeah.
I don't do that. That actually the ruin. Most men in their 40s who are now divorced and suffering or doing well, like 10 years ago, that's the trap they got themselves into. I know for a woman, once you put in a certain lifestyle, she'll never go lower.
They never go back. Yes.
They never go back. So she rather even like, the way Ipagami works, she'll keep on chasing. So you come mnishi hapa tuseme Ngong Road, you can never tell her, let's go back to Donholm. When to Donholm, ya tabaki hapa and she carry on with her life.
Actually, that example you gave of the landlord who is telling the guy, aende kuishi kwa salam na bibi abaki na watoto. That is what happens.
We'll be visiting you.
We'll visit you. Then when you're okay, you will come back. So just to make a fine point on it, you may actually impress her by spending money, but she will not desire you. There's a big difference. It's just the same way someone in a big car can pass and they say, wow, who is that? Oh, that's a nice car. But it doesn't mean they'll desire you. That is just going to impress them, and that's a very fleeting moment and experience. But it does not mean that now that is going to transfer to you, because you are not your money. Yeah.
Okay. Joel Arama has a question for you, and he's asking, what do you mean by spend it on yourself?
Oh yeah, good question. By the way, somebody also asked me this, I think 2 days ago. This guy was asking how you spend it on yourself. What you need to do, guys need to remember this. If you're socially awkward, like I know of guys who, the guy is so shy. He cannot speak to a woman when he's sober. He has to take something, okay? You need to get a coach to coach you on your social skills. That is spending on yourself. Okay. If you are a guy who is doing a manual job that is low paying, you have a low paying job that is not bringing you enough income, spend your money on a course, get trained, get a high value income. You can do data analytics. Nowadays, a lot of courses are done online, okay? Another thing you can do, spending money on yourself, pay for gym membership, get a trainer, let him sort your diet, let him sort your exercise so that you can look good. You need to look jacked. You need to look, as a man, you need to look like a strong person who can handle himself in a fight, who can protect his woman. That's how you spend money on yourself. You spend money on yourself, like if you don't have good teeth, go get a dentist, let it be checked. If you have a skin that is not good, get it checked. Get a barber, dress nicely, wear nice shoes. That's how you spend money on yourself. You see, I've seen so many cases where a guy is spending so much money on his woman, and him himself is forgotten about himself. He doesn't even look good. But you'll see the way the woman is chopping his money, buying the best shoes, buying handbags, going for massage, for spa and so on. But this guy he cannot even near those places. So guys need to remember that. Spend that money on yourself, make yourself look better, increase your social status, and that is what is going to make you attractive. Yeah.
Okay. And so who are these modern women? And I think we've spoken about the modern woman for a number of times. Maybe we need to start again defining the modern woman. Who is a modern woman? In the interest of Gnarama. Silas.
A woman who's educated. A woman who's educated, at least with a basic diploma or a degree. She lives in an urban center.
Yes.
She works. She earns her money. And she subscribes to the Western ideal of life, like the Western notions of life. She tries to live that Hollywood kind of life, what she sees on TV, like her fashion, her dress sense, her thoughts, ideas, everything. She borrows from Hollywood. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's your definition? Is it the same definition?
Yeah, he's right. And most modern women also, they look at the traditional roles. They look down at the traditional roles of a woman, like cleaning the house, cooking. They feel that is slavery, and they feel that the men will feel superior to them if they do such roles. So they don't want to do those roles.
And that's why they're very nasty towards their house helps.
Yeah. They're very nasty. And they're also very masculine.
Yeah.
The modern women are also masculine in the sense that if you have a disagreement with her, maybe you're in a club, she can pour a drink on you, or she'll shout at you. They don't respect men, basically. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's a modern woman for you, Joel Arama. Now that you asked that question, Steven Dungo, karibu sana huku ameita Skevo Shaks, asema karibu sana huku. Benjamin Mwaga, good to see you. Good evening. Nani mwingine hapa? Moses kile kitawa sababu kumeshikana kidogo. Moses, I hope you're taking notes tonight as well. The writing teacher, good evening to you. Sylvie Shaz, cheers to me who is single. Okay. Are you single out of crisis or out of choice? Maybe single dude can be out of crisis. Kwa soko imeharibika. Maybe you have to know. Right. Let's get out. Good evening gentlemen. Leo time kidogo imetuchenga. Haya, karibu. Yes, kuliendaje kule kidogo? I think I read that as well. Gerald Rama is asking, so are you saying the women only desire men who are buffed? Not buffed, by buffed means who have money or what?
I think he means men who are jacked, guys who are physically imposing. Of course, the answer is no.
Gym.
And nobody cares about that in the long run. I think we have examples of our gym instructor who married a socialite, and they got 2 kids, and later he was thrown out and referred to as a sperm donor.
Aye.
So people need to remember that we have hypergamy, and I'm going to remind them of this. Hypergamy has 2 phases. Hypergamy has what we call the arousal phase, which is normally short term, and that's why you can find a woman who is fairly well to do is pregnant with the gardener or a watchman. Okay, it's very short term, and this short term phase is normally driven purely by what we call the feral instincts or the animalistic instincts. So it's pure plain raw desire. Then there's also the long term, which is the attraction phase. And the attraction phase is what we call the beta male providers normally give women. You need to have the ability to provide a woman with the resources and the protection that she wants. So it's for a man must be the full package. Guys need to remember that. This guy is called Fresh and Fit. They talk about this all the time. You must be full package. We normally say that you need to have money, muscles, and game. Okay? So it's not enough to have muscles. If you have muscles and you're broke, nobody cares. Women can probably use you for what we call recreation. They can use you for recreation only, and then they dump you. So you need to be able to show that you have value that can be sustained long term. Yeah.
Kama Rama leo ako easy as an advocate of the women, the advocate of the modern woman. So are you saying the women only desire? Ameuliza sasa, if you are nasty to the lady and she pours a drink on your head, is it a fault or your fault?
I think that's not what Jacob meant. He meant like when you have disagreements as adults, there's a way that you handle them.
Yeah. There's a better way to handle them. And when you say that the modern woman, so there are things that they do that will make you realize that they don't.
When you say that the modern woman is masculine, it's not like it's their fault. When you join the workforce is a very masculine area. So naturally, over time, it's like a woman who's in the military. Over time, the testosterone in them tends to get the better of them, because that's what you need to survive in such an environment. Yeah, so that's why for you to be a boss, whether you are a man or a woman, you must have certain traits. And for the longest time, traditionally, those traits were for the men. So the modern life is very rough. You cannot approach it by just being feminine. There was a time I was at the stage, I used to live in Umoja, and mvua ikaanza kunyesha. This chick pushed me away vibaya sana, get out of the way. And I was like, so somebody told me hiyo nywele yake, it's very expensive kuiunda, so hizi kubali nyeshewe, hata sasa kuedemu akaa hapo nini. That's what happens when you live in a city, and now that women believe that we are equal. So that's how they become masculine, so that they can survive. So it's not like it's a bad thing or it's their fault, but it's what it is. Yeah.
And that person now, maybe are you sure it's a gentleman? It could be a chick who is using, because who said that someone is nasty, that's why they are being poured a drink on.
So if you're nasty, it's justified.
No, it's not justified. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I think the argument is there's always a better way to handle an argument.
Yeah.
The same way women would have a problem if you reacted violently, maybe, to your partner, in case you have a problem maybe in a club.
Yeah, like violence is never an option in a civilized society, unless under extreme provocation, and you should never find yourself in a space where you are extremely provoked.
Yeah,
you should have that self-awareness to run away from that.
Not even provocation if you're in danger of harm.
If in danger of harm.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, when a woman does something like that, is it out of reaction or makupima over time, I can get away with this? But I'm on maybe it's poor.
No, they can't do that to their bosses. So obviously she doesn't respect you. Yeah, you have to remember that all women there's a man that they submit to. If a woman doesn't submit to you, it does not mean that she's not submissive. It just means she does not respect you enough. Because you'll see all these women who may disrespect their husbands. When they are around their bosses at work, they are very submissive. They make them tea, they're polite, they're smiling. They don't show them any nasty habits. So that is what guys need to remember. And when a woman is pouring a drink on you, it doesn't mean that she can't control her emotions. And they are very, very conscious of what they are doing. So she just wants to show you the level of contempt or disrespect that she has for you at that moment. And it also means that you as a man, you have stayed in that relationship for too long, because disrespect escalates. It's just like when the way you look at a dog. When a dog wants to give you an aggressive reaction, before a dog bites you, it snarls at you, it growls, and so on. And if you don't interrupt that chain reaction, it's eventually going to bite you. So it's the same thing. Women who pour drinks on men, those are men that they've already shown that they can disrespect and get away with it.
Okay. So anakuwa amepima
kabisa.
And I think the takeaway is there is every woman submit to someone, to a man somewhere.
Yes.
I remember there's a meme that I saw of a woman at home and a woman at a pastor's place. The submission, the way they treat the man in the house who is the husband, and the way they treat the pastor are two different stories. The pastor would easily tell her to do something and she would do it.
Yeah.
And you would struggle, or the boss can tell her do this and they'll do it. But you will tell them to do it and they'll choose not to do the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
All right? Okay. So there's no woman who is not submissive.
And at that point you've mentioned, I think, Silas, we had this discussion earlier. It's also a result of modernity or urbanization. You know, in the past, I know that the Luo men, for example, had this art that is called a bila. If you're a polygamous man, you stay in the abila with your sons. The Kikuyus have the tingira in the middle of the compound. There used to be a distance between men and women, which sort of created some respect between the two. But now, because of urbanization, we are watching the same TV in the same sitting room with the children, and there is no boundaries and so on. That has caused all this lack of respect. Even in the West, right now, because marriage has been on such a great decline, most people are now sorting for what we call long-term relationships, but you don't live together. We find that in the same case, desire is at a much more higher level. There's no disrespect and so on. Because when you bring the two genders together, it has also proved socially that it creates a lot of disrespect, because there are no boundaries.
Yeah, and that's why during COVID, like we had, there was like a spike in divorces, because even when you live together, at least COVID used to take people away. And now you're forced to live together, especially that first year. You know, now you're exposed as a man, and even your wife is exposed. And your house generally is not your abode, like as a man. And a man like is supposed to be out there, unaingia unalala kama umetoka. Like even your family doesn't want you there. Yeah, so that's why like the house is, like the way the house is curated, unapata like kama ni wardrobe, you can only put like your 2 coats there. She'll take the only, kama ni bathroom, she has like 10 shampoos there, you know.
And you have your own one panga.
Your own hapo, you know.
Panga za corner.
Yeah, but that's why I tell guys like to have a man cave, you know, like a sort of like a shrine where they can retreat to, like to sort of like think. Yeah.
And I think that's very key. You need to always have a place that you can go to and be in yourself and think. Moses Gitawa is saying, ask Jacob to quickly mention the point after this 4th one. Women play hard to get, and I think that's about the 5th one. I think because the 6th was the belief that you must spend money on women. Don't negotiate up again. Decide. Now, number 5. Moses Gitawa is asking that you repeat number 5.
We talked about reciprocity in relationships. Yes, I don't know whether you noted that. We also talked about when you elevate her. You expect her to elevate you, but what she does is she elevates her expectations of you, and that's why many men are abandoned after she has graduated. We talked about nice guys, that men think that women want nice guys, and then marry someone because you love them. We also talked about that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think you get it, Moses Gitawa. Now we have belief number.
I think number 8.
Number 8 now. Okay.
Yeah, that if you don't do what she wants, she will leave you. And this especially affects young guys, men who are young, men in their 20s, who don't have a lot of money, who don't have a lot in the way of resources. If you look at the way women leave them, many women actually tell them point blank that unafikiri kama wewe hawezi nunulia gari, hakuna mwanaume anaweza nunulia gari. Ati kama wewe hawezi nipeleka kwa salon unitengenezee nywele, kama hawezi nunulia nywele ya 50,000, usifikiri ni wewe peke yako ndio lazima nikuje kwako. You see, so many people feel and many young guys think that if you don't do what she wants,
someone else will do it.
Yeah, she's going to do it. Yeah, somebody else will do it. And so these guys really struggle. You find a guy robbing a bank. You'll find a guy going into wash. You'll find a guy. We have cases recently. Some young guys, they were killed. I think they were involved in some con game where they were conning people and taking their money, and they were killed just because this guy is trying to maintain a woman in a lifestyle that he cannot afford by far. So guys need to remember that in most cases, when a woman is going to leave you, she's going to leave you whether you do what she wants or not. It's a decision that she has made. It's normally very visceral. And I know, and I think Silas can even attest to this, there are many women actually who can actually go, they're seeing a mubaba behind your back. But the money she gets from the mubaba anakuletea. Analipa rent, anakupatia, unaeka kwa account and so on. So the idea that a woman is telling you that ati atakuacha if you can't do what she wants, that is also a lie. And in many cases where hata utapata someone has struggled to do what she wants, she still lives. Yeah. So guys should not struggle so hard beyond your own capacity to make sure that you meet a woman's unrealistic demands or expectations. Yeah, just do what you can. Kama hajatosheka, let her move. Yeah.
Silas, what do you think?
Yeah, the rule of the game is always to date a woman who wants to be with you. Not a woman who wants to put endless conditions on you. Because at any given time, women are gaming their options. Even married women, at any given time, they're gaming their options. There's like, she's flirting with like 5 or so men out there. And that doesn't mean that she's cheating. But she's trying to game her options, and if there's a man who's better than you, she might try to go with that man. So as a man, don't struggle to keep a woman who wants to go, because like that thing normally say like if she's for the streets, she's for the streets. There's nothing you can do about it. Like you can never snatch from the streets what belongs to the streets. So what most men do, like if you have a woman and you don't have it in you the ability to let her go. Like I don't even when you have a woman, even if it's your wife, she should know that if she wants to leave, she can leave. That does not mean that as a man now you become reckless, you become complacent. Just do what you have to do. But within like the right thing, and be smart enough. But just don't over struggle, because you can never meet the demands of a woman. Even women themselves, they don't know what they want. You know, leo anaweza nataka nywele ya 20,000. Kesha itaki, you know, and that's why I think there's a memo I wrote where I say that a woman can force you to take a loan, then the loan gets you into trouble, alafu akuulize like kwani uko na kilu kichukua, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just to emphasize on that, guys need to remember this. A woman should not be with you because you make her happy. A woman should be happy to be with you. Okay? I hope guys get the distinction. You should not always have to entertain her so that she's happy. You're trying to meet her incessant demands. She should be happy because she's with you. That means she desires you. If she doesn't desire you, then you'll have to keep her happy. And that's why so many men struggle. You find a woman who is frustrated. She's suffering the buyer's remorse. So in essence, you are bribing her. Don't ever bribe a woman so that she can be happy. So if she's not happy to be with you, let her walk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If she's not to be with you, let her walk. Kevin Anyim logged in and learning quite a bit. Thank you. Thomas Ocheng anasema na tieng iwinjo jaya wala ya la wadu. Anasema nini? Dominic Agesa tuned in learning a lot. Thank you so much. You Thomas anasema nini?
Ati winjo jayala wadu. It means umesikia. Yeah, that was Kevin. Shout out to Kevin. So I was in Yala, so I think he's just saying that.
Yala.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Asante sana kwa national language. Belief number 9.
Yeah. So this one is about that women only cheat for emotional reasons. Okay. I want to tell a story about a certain school. I'm going to mention the school. This school, it was a girls' school. And among the girls was a girl who was very frustrated. She had a boyfriend, she was ovulating. She wanted to go and see her boyfriend. But the closing day was still far off. This girl decided to start a fire in school. So unfortunately, some of the girls were trapped in the dormitory fire. 10 of them died. And after 10 of them died, so of course the school was closed, the parents came. And the ones who died were actually burnt beyond recognition. So what happened is that there was no way of identifying who was whose daughter. So they needed to do DNA tests. The DNA tests that were done, 6 parents could not find, 6 fathers rather, they were not able to trace their genes to these particular bodies, these 10 bodies. So it means that 6 out of these 10 parents were actually raising daughters that were not theirs, but they thought that they were actually raising their own children. Wow. So what normally happens is that many men, when you are growing up, men are vilified so much that as a man, when you grow up, you're told that you are the ones who cheat, you are the ones who beat your wives, you are the ones who are responsible drunkards. You grow up as a man thinking you are the worst person, and you think that women are not capable of this evil. And I like the joke that Chris Rock makes. He says that men lie the most. Men tell lies like, I was at Brayo's place, but he was not at Brayo. Maybe he was with Susan. But women tell the biggest lies. A woman can tell you this is your son, and you spend your entire life raising this boy thinking it's yours. I mean, it's not yours. And she knows it. And she's probably also getting money from the father of this child. So men need to understand that women don't only cheat for emotional reasons. You don't have to wrong your wife or your girlfriend for her to cheat on you. She can cheat because of money. She can cheat because she feels more attracted to that guy than you. Okay? She can cheat because you annoyed her and she wants to punish you, and so on and so forth. So a number of times I've seen so many cases, even because Ulu had a series called Men and Marriage, where a man is providing, is a very good provider, good father, good husband, very responsible, committed to his work, a professional man. One day he discovered that out of the 3 children he had, 2 are not his. He stumbled upon M-Pesa messages. Another man was sending a lot of money to his wife. Then he realized this was actually school fees. And this guy who had a lot of money, it's not like they were lacking. They were living in Lavington. They had 2 vehicles. They had their own rental houses. They had a business and so on. But this woman was still receiving money from another man. So guys need to realize, be situationally aware. Don't think that you're special. And anything is possible. Guys need to understand that anything is possible. Don't live without situational awareness. You need to be awake. You need to be alert. Yeah.
So what do women cheat for?
For various reasons. Sometimes, as a man, maybe you failed, and I think one of the biggest one normally is when, as a man, you are broke, you are struggling to provide financially. Many women can cheat to supplement, especially because in this era of social media, many women will cheat to get money. Okay, they'll get a mubaba who is very crafty. Atamwambia kuja Mombasa, ticket ndio hiyo, nimetuma messenger, analeta anampatia 50,000 kuja. I have some $500,000 ukikuja nitakupatia. She'll come for the money. So women cheat for money. Women also cheat just for attention. Probably you are a man who is very socially awkward, you are very cruel to her, you treat her very badly. She can also just cheat because there's someone who is treating her nicely. So, and she can also cheat just because she wants good sex. If she has, she's been imprinted. She's probably an alpha widow, and she's looking for that alpha experience she once had. What you're providing her in the bedroom is not satisfying her. She can look for a man who can do that. So women can actually just cheat just because they want good sex. Yeah. The reasons are many. They can also cheat just because it's easy, it's convenient. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What are your thoughts, Silas?
Yeah, we don't talk about female promiscuity enough because I actually, my last memo was about 9 reasons why women cheat. And women were very quiet on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they didn't have interaction with women.
That is enough.
Because it was troubling enough. But another reason that women cheat is like women are the women who have like a naturally higher libido. The women who are they're called nymphomaniacs. That's nymphomaniacs. Like that's the correct scientific word for that. And as a man, like when you're dating and during courtship, you really have to know whether you can measure up to a sexual urges. Another thing that men completely overlook is that women are very freaky. If you go to those forums on Facebook and you see the kind of discussions that women are having, I mean, like now selling sex toys has become like normalized and institutionalized. Pretty much like someone can go online and start selling those, and you can see them talking about toys, and that can give you an idea. Women are, because sometimes we really overrate the innocence of women. And I have some of my friends who go out with married women, and they tell me the kind of thing that they do with them. Those men can't even do those things with their husbands. Like that's experimental sex. Like some of those things you hear them, and people like us who are single, and they can really scare you. But for men, just know that women are human beings, and they normally say that women are just men with better PR. You know,
exactly.
Like everything a man is capable of doing, a woman is capable of doing, perhaps worse.
Yes.
And remember, the threshold for men to cheat is normally very high.
It's high.
It's high in the sense that you need money.
Yeah, you need money.
You need money.
The cost of cheating.
The cost of cheating is very high.
The cost is high, yes.
Because for a woman, whether married or not, someone is paying. Someone is show up. You just, I'll give
the cheating is funded.
Yeah, it's funded.
The cheating is funded, you know.
Just sure.
So that's something that as married men, you should know. And then you see, women always go with emotions. And depending on what time of the month is she ovulating. Like every other time, like at a given time of the month, she has very specific feelings. Like when she's ovulating, she's likely maybe to cheat with an alpha. In other days, she's likely to feel safe in the hands of like that friend-zoned guy. You know.
Yes.
So this is something that as a man you can never really govern, but you just need to be self-aware of what you have.
I like what you said, and I wanted to also argue other scenarios where women cheat, because I think guys also struggle with this. Just what Donald Silas has said, in a sense, even within 1 month, you may have the same woman, but you actually interact with 3 different people. That is why I think it was in the 80s, the stage of where a woman, the ovulatory cycle, there is that stage that is called the premenstrual syndrome. It has such a strong psychological presentation that it's called a syndrome. It's like you're dealing with a different person. So that is very important. Now, a woman can also cheat to validate herself. For example, and this is why women normally betray each other. I think even Kelly Price sang that song, A Friend of Mine. A woman, for example, she has a friend who has a husband who is probably better looking than her own husband, or who has a higher status than her own husband. And this woman will be asking, okay, fine, so this friend of mine feels she's better than me, but just because she has this man. You know, if this man approaches her, she's going to sleep with him to validate herself. That, the validation here is she's proving that she can also get him, okay? So women can also cheat because of that. And that happens a lot. Women also cheat because they're influenced by their friends. One part of female nature shows that women get bored very quickly, and women like excitement. That is why men came up with this thing we call romance. Romance is just a way of creating a heightened emotional situation, because women like that. Women can go out, and a friend can actually tell them, you know, there is this thing. These things of threesomes, for example. Threesomes are normally ideas that are initiated by women. They like variety, they like experimenting. And now with social media, they have with this dopamine high. They are so addicted to dopamine. They want to do crazier and crazier and crazier things. So you can find that the way they operate in groups, there's a friend who is very crazy, who has crazy ideas. And women can easily influence each other to get into a situation where she actually has sex with someone who did I know very well, just because of peer pressure. So they can do it for very, very many reasons. But when you're growing up, we are told that the only reason a woman can cheat is maybe when emotionally either the guy is neglecting her or the person is mistreating her. But when you grow up, you realize the situations are very, very many that can make a woman cheat.
But you've said that women cheat easily because their cheating is financed. But like you're mentioning, you're saying you have friends who go out with married women. I doubt if those men fund the cheating of those married women, do they?
It depends. Like if it's a young man like who's like a Ben 10, like women too can buy sex.
They do.
If especially for that recreational sex you're talking about, like if maybe it's a gym instructor or some young man like she really wants to get physical with. Women too, especially these women in middle class, the cougars and all that, they can buy sex. But sometimes, also they also cheat with their bosses. They cheat with the men who are up there. So, like there are those hotels in town or along Kiambu Road or along Thika Road where married women are taken over lunchtime or evening, So it depends like where the woman is financially and what kind of man she's sleeping with, because also they go for variety. And when it's talking about being influenced, like how even can be influenced into some lesbian relationships, like there's so much experimentation going on in Nairobi because of they're searching for that dopamine, that high, like they are constantly looking for it. And that thing, what is it called? Pair bonding. The pair bonding in life of women is so weak because of their past experiences, and no one man can fulfill all our sexual fantasies. No man. So that's why some of them keep on looking for that high. I, like most men should pay attention to the sale of like the sex toys. Women say, "Oh, it's just complimentary and all that," but you're onto something. Like you're entering like into a very funny zone.
Entering into a box.
It's crazy because once you get that into that overstimulation, when she uses this sex toy and she comes back to you and there's something you're not able to do, the people who sold her these sex toys, it's a group, they share ideas. Someone will tell you, there's a guy in Hurlingham. Wow, that's the guy.
This massage parlors,
that guy.
You go
you
the
have
way.
to try him. You have to try him.
Yeah.
You just come. They influence each other like that and say, what? Kwani, what does he have? No, I'll show you. You just come. You won't regret it. Yeah. Because you see also the other thing is that being career women, they have money, they have status, their husbands are providing. What else is there? Social media, they have men following them. They post those ass shots. People are liking and commenting. They're just looking for the next high. And the next high could be that guy in the massage parlor in Hurlingham, who everyone is talking about.
Yeah.
They want to implement. You see, the thing is that we have this thing called pre-selection. Women want men that other women want. It's not like men where a man wants a woman exclusively to himself. If there's a man who is smashing women out there and every woman is coming up with very good reports, you'll find that women are getting interested. Okay, who is this guy?
They actually share notes.
Yeah, they also want now that piece of action. That's like, how they function.
Men we joke about throupers. Hey, women are so good at throupers as men. Like they know like they can't possess that man, and they are liberal enough, and that's another thing about modern women. They even write about it online. Like like the first time I experienced an orgasm was because of this guy. So unapewa number, you see the guy will live for that. Analetewa, anapita nayo.
Unauzwa.
Unauzwa. Yeah. And the men who have chosen that lifestyle, and they some of them actually live off it.
Yeah.
They make money from it.
Okay. Dominic Akesa, Jacob Aliet has greatly changed my dating world. May God bless you. Our late chairman Jackson Kibor, I can see he's soon having a worthy successor. Ben Olare, powerful topic. And the topic is the beliefs that destroy men. Beliefs that destroy men. Okay? Joel Arama anasema at this rate men are endangered species. Seems like it. As we move forward, men continue.
No, we are not endangered.
Are we not?
You're only endangered if you endanger yourself. Like all these things we are talking, they are just general, but they're good. There are still good women out there. There are conservative women there. There are still women who have that capacity to pair bond. They're still there. Only that you have to look for them. You have to strive much harder. But that thing like, I don't know, fear women, we are endangered, that's a very wrong attitude that men should not have.
So you're not endangered.
We are not.
You're endangered only if you allow yourself to be endangered.
Like you're facing some problems, but you're not endangered.
Okay, we are facing a challenge.
There's some challenge we're facing, and that's why we're here to address them.
William Bosira, I like the Silas take. You can't snatch what belongs to the streets. Tuned in from Mombasa. Kajile, so I'm tuned in as usual. Thank you so much. Good to see you this evening. So let me remind you that this is the Men Only show. Comes to you every single now. It's going to be coming to you from Thursday, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right. Belief number 9 or 10?
I think it's 10.
10, number 10.
Yeah. Belief number 10, I think this is also something that is a problem for most guys. They're picking it from Western media, Western movies, Western mainstream media, and so on, that equal partnerships are best, okay, or that they can work. That is also a big challenge. Many people, and even many women actually will tell you that they don't mind taking half of the bills and they'll carry it without a problem. But when you give them that chance, the relationship runs into turbulence. Because basically when you're telling a woman that you want to give in as much as she can, it means you're telling her that you are equal. And women don't want men who are equal to them.
Okay.
Women want men who are higher than them because of their hypergamous needs. That is when she feels that she got a nice catch. If she has this feeling that she brings in as much as you do, then now she feels she doesn't need to respect you. Okay. And many men in situations where a woman does not respect you, many men will actually naturally seek a woman who actually respects them. So you'll find you look for another woman, or the disrespect that you're going to find in this relationship is such that you're not happy in that kind of a relationship. Because a woman always feels that because she's giving you the box, that alone is a big contribution. I don't know whether this thing is biological or social, but many women normally feel that the fact that she's giving the box itself is like she has already paid 50%. Hiyo ingine sasa wewe unafaa kuleta. Sasa anakupa box and then you expect her to take half of the burden, it becomes a big problem. So she becomes very angry, very combative, and very disrespectful. Yeah, a woman is only respectful when she feels that the value she's getting in that relationship is more than she's giving. Yeah.
Silas.
The men are normally, women who come up with that notion of equal partnerships, they don't go for men at the bottom. It's usually like a high value man, a Kanye West here, Russell Wilson, like it's men at the top. Like when you are a man, you're a billionaire, and you meet maybe a woman who's a millionaire. Is when they try to come up with that nonsense of, like equal partnership. And, for a man, because you are rational, that thing, it makes rational sense, like, okay, it can work. But you can never enter into an agreement with a woman. We can have a deal with you like a Silas and Gerald or Silas and Jacob. That one can work. But there's no covenant you can enter with a woman. That's even in the Bible, there's no God enters a covenant with a woman. All covenants are always signed amongst men. So if you enter into such a covenant with a woman, she'll change her mind down the line and she'll resent you. Yeah, so when you're equal, then you become superfluous to her needs. Yeah. So she wants a man who's and that's like the last time we were setting that Swedish nini. That research that was done in Sweden, that the biggest marker of divorce is a woman's income. The higher she earns, the more likely. Because now the more she earns, the lesser the men who are at par with her. And that research, it's actually on the BBC website, it said even when a woman is a CEO, she'll still need a man who's stronger.
Yeah.
In all senses, financially, earning more than half, everything. Because of that aspect of being dominated. So even Hillary Clinton, like even the strongest, most powerful woman in the world, will still need a man, unless the exception you made, like for the likes of like Oprah, they'll always have maybe that steady man guy.
Yeah, there
are those men who are comfortable playing the second fiddle. So you have this powerful woman, she can do whatever she pleases, and for you settle just for the role that you've been given. It happens with some women. They just keep you there for that social tag, like when your husband, your flan, because most women want to be attached, even if it's for social reasons. When they go to social functions, they want to point out, like, that's my husband, that's my boyfriend. No woman wants to be seen as single. Most of them, they might try to write long essays and all that, but in reality, in real life, most women want to be attached to a man, whether a boyfriend or a husband.
Yeah. And I think linked to it, Gerald, I think this is a very important thing. If there are any women who are listening, maybe this will give them an understanding. The only way a woman validates her sexual agency is when there is a man whose higher value is attached to her. If you are a man who is actually of equal value or less value than her, or even as a case of equal partnership, she feels that she's not getting enough compensation for her sexual agency. It's actually a way of showing her that she has no sexual agency. And that is why you see even the Playboy mansion, that guy called her Hefner. He was an old man, but he was having a harem of very young girls. He was paying them, but they didn't stop. And this is happening in a country where women are educated and there's freedom and all that. And these girls have options. It's not like they are from poor families. But the excitement that a woman gets when she feels a man is paying for her, it's a form of validation. And that's one reason why these equal partnerships don't work, because it's like an insult to her. A woman wants to feel that her sexual agency actually is playing a role, a compensating role in her life. And making an equal partner is actually like throwing it back to her face, like you don't value it.
And relationships are never business. A relationship can never be a business. Either they are making family, or you are friendship, and the friendship and the relationship overrides all other business interests. And that's why men never mind spending money on a woman. Like it's never a big deal.
Yes, it's never a big deal.
If she deserves it,
Yeah.
Like for you never even remember that udemzini pesa ngapi kwa woman can remember like I spent this amount of money
very bitterly.
But if you guys are like in good terms, and even if you break up in good terms, no man remembers like I spent this much. And you've seen what Tiger Woods is going through right now.
Yeah.
You see that's what happens when you try to work out a deal with a woman.
Yes.
She'll never own a deal.
And back to that working out a deal is because, and this is a point that I argued with some guys in a group or WhatsApp when I was telling them women tend to be moral relativists. And like when Silas is saying a woman has a right to change her mind, as we saw in the Me Too movement, women actually end marriages because of how they feel. Like if a woman feels she's not happy, she feels that's a reason to end a marriage, And just to illustrate to you how much the feeling of a woman, it keeps changing, or actually doesn't mean anything. You have a situation of a rich guy, okay? This guy is very rich. He has a ranch. It is fenced. He keeps horses. He keeps cows. It's a huge place. And he brings this woman from another country and he marries her and he puts her in this ranch, okay? And she's going to post photos on Instagram showing wow, this is my horse. This is a nice place. I married a rich guy. Then, once she has settled and her friends are finding, wow, you're so lucky. Wow, you have all that place to yourself. He says, yeah, this is my house. That's a castle. Wow. Okay. So she settles in. Then this guy, because he's a rich man, the money comes from somewhere. This guy is very busy. He leaves her. He has to go for a trip in Switzerland, in Australia, business trips. Then he leaves her in this ranch. This woman immediately starts now telling people, I'm feeling like a prisoner. I can't even go out. There are guards everywhere. I'm all alone. This place is like a prison. You see, her feelings have changed. Nothing. She's in the same scenario. She was very busy posting to her friends how she was lucky and married to a rich guy. And now she's saying now the rich guy is imprisoning her. So that is how the situations and the feelings of women change. It's very, very fluid. Very, very fluid. So guys also need to remember that. And that's one of the things I've also covered in my book about listening to women. A woman can be happy with you for the same reason today that she's going to be very mad at you, or the same reason tomorrow. Yeah.
Same reason.
Same thing you did that was making her happy, now it doesn't make her happy anymore.
And she's mad, it doesn't make her happy.
Yeah.
All right. Bernard Olala is asking question. What can men do to a woman to avoid this situation of cheating?
A situation of cheating. Okay, first of all, and I like what Chris Rock said when he was doing that comedy against Will Smith, when he was saying everyone here has been cheated. I don't know whether that is true or not. But you see, the concern with cheating is also linked to anaitis. Of course, men need to be concerned about paternity and so on. But the most important thing you can do to yourself as a man is to increase your value. I know so many people spend resources planting cat tracks on their women, snooping on her phones. You've put some spyware to show you who is sending messages to her, who is calling, and so on. It's purely a waste of time. You should increase your value. When you increase your value, this woman is going to be attached to you. I think that is the most important thing. If concern about being cheated is preoccupying you, you're probably with the wrong woman. You're probably with the wrong woman, or there's something wrong that you're doing. Yeah.
Silas.
Yeah, that's true.
Tutafanya nini wanawake they don't cheat on us?
Well, first of all, the usual. Maintain your frame, invest in yourself, ensure that your physical, mental health is good. Keep on increasing your value, because also before a woman cheats, she knows a woman can only cheat on a man she's willing to lose. So if your value is up there and you're doing everything right, she'll think twice. It's not like she won't cheat, but she'll think twice, because she also knows the consequences, because she won't want, because they know the only time a man is justified to kick out a woman and she can't even claim anything is when she has cheated. Number two, we have to go at the beginning. When you're dating, during courtship, you have to ensure that you are marrying a woman who has values, a woman who was raised well. The women who are raised in environments that are really questionable. Over the weekend, I was with this young lady I know in my hood. So she happened by, she came with her mother. And the mother was the boyfriend. So the mother is like in her 40s, the boyfriend is like in his 30s, and the young girl is like in her early 20s.
Gosh.
And they got properly drunk. And I'm looking like, okay, this girl is growing in such an environment.
That's terrible.
And that dude looked like he can smash both the mother and the daughter, you know. So most men, you can't live a life of fantasy. Unless you meet a woman who was raised in a bad environment and you want to play the role of Jesus, maybe you want to think like you can convert her, change her, you know. So that's why we say that, like, try and get, at the very least, a woman who was raised in a place that has values. You know, a woman who knows what's right and what's wrong. And as he said, women are moral relativists. So at least find someone who at least who's not too relative. And, you know, women, they make a mistake and then they rationalize.
Yes.
That's how they go about life. But at least find someone who's sensible, someone who has like some common sense. And if you're within marriage, as you say, don't suffer that one-night thing. Let her know that if she does that, she'll go. Because if a woman wants that marriage so bad, she won't do such anything that will mess it up.
They'll try, they'll do their best to keep
and even women stay with men who cheat because they don't lose that relationship, because this man has his value.
Yeah.
That's women tolerate men who cheat. Yeah.
And I think I want to reinforce on that, because the other thing that guys need to know, there's a point he made that is very important. When you're a man who is valuable, there'll be other women who are also courting your attention. When other women are courting your attention, your wife is not going to cheat, or your girlfriend for that matter, because she knows she can easily be replaced. Competition anxiety is one of the things that make women attach themselves to men. And I think that is why the Bible has a very good example. If you look at the rivalry between Leah and Rachel in the story of Jacob, and who was the father? Was it Laban? I don't remember.
Jacob.
Yeah. Remember when Jacob wanted to marry Leah?
Jacob, it's Laban.
Laban.
Yes, Laban was the father.
Yeah, Laban was the father. And the way he was playing around the Jacob. So guys need to realize that women love value and men value love. When you say women love value, women will tend to gravitate where they can get value. If you are showing her that you are the best, you are her best option, her chances of cheating are going to be very low. So the best way actually to stop cheating is by increasing your value. But at the same time, it doesn't matter how you increase your value if you marry the wrong woman. That's why you need to vet her. If she has a high notch count, you're going to have trouble. It doesn't matter who you are. If she has this sketchy past where she has maybe 2 children from fathers who are still alive, she broke up with this man, that means she has this past that is going to be a problem. Silas mentioned, look at her past, her parents, her upbringing. Many women, for example, who have been brought up by a mother who is divorced, these mothers tend to pass on their resentment towards men to their daughters. Women are very emotional, and as much as they can talk so many things about how they have gone for therapy and their balance and so on, it comes out. And it comes out in various forms. In the end, the further wounds that this girl has, the mother actually just cements it. She's going to say the way men are trash, you can never trust a man and so on. And this is going to impact on how she's going to manage your relationship with her. So do your vetting properly and pick the right woman. Also pick her because she has genuine burning desire. You see, for example, there are guys who who lead with their wallets, as we call it. You find a woman, you're buying her gifts all the time, you're giving her money, then you marry her, then you expect her to be loyal to you. It's not going to happen. You already started from the wrong foot. You're not going to cure that by monitoring her phone messages and locking the door for her.
Someone will do that. What
Yeah.
are you doing here? Okay. All right.
And to add on that, another mistake that many men make is they are enamored by women in the sense that you fall in love. And men, it's good to fall in love, but it's also good to pick yourself from that fall. So that, Kitambo used to marry a woman like you fall in love with her because she's attractive, and no one's value used to come from her becoming a mother of your children, and now you go on to make children. So woman's value used to be like she's a young hot girl, she becomes a wife, she becomes a mother, she becomes a grandmother, that transition. Now we no longer have that. You're marrying a woman 25 and she wants to remain 25 until you're almost in your 50s. She's still 25. Putting on her makeup, doing all those expensive things because she constantly wants to be in the market. And because of makeup and the cosmetic industry, they're able maybe to maintain that allure of sexiness. So as a man, you should also find a woman who's willing to settle into those roles. Like she wants to transition from being the young girl she was. She becomes a mother, and this thing she takes them with the honor. It's not like you're forcing her, so that you don't. Because you can never feed that monster of like she's wanted out there, she's putting herself out there. Like sometimes I see married men doing that PDF thing, like public display file. Like ameenda kwa studio kanyorosha picha mzuri, she's exposing her thighs, nini. You see, anytime a woman is doing that, she's constantly signaling the world. Bado niko kwa soko. And Gerald and Jacob, I know so many hot girls from college who are married. And if those women put their photos online, they'll break the internet. But they got married and they disappeared. I meet them, they are going to church, they're mothers of children.
And they're still hot.
Very settled, very hot.
They accepted their
because
roles.
they accepted, like that's what, like the hottest chick from the University of Nairobi in my time. Like she's a chick, she wanted to be like a socialite, Kina Veracity would have been jobless. But she's completely, like it's one thing that I constantly ask myself, like how did this happen? But she married a high value man. She settled, like kila saa anaonanga tu kama ana post ni watoto na husband yake nini, and she doesn't post like those photos, like so that's something that men also need to know. A woman who's willing to settle in these roles, because in her 30s she'll be a busy mother, in her late 40s, early 50s she'll be maybe a young grandmother, so you want someone who can settle and who's family oriented. People are family oriented, they don't cheat or they can't do anything that can wreck the marriage.
So the ones we see posting are the factory reject.
There?
The ones we see posting.
They're not factory reject, but what Silas said is very
they are
important.
signaling the world.
Yeah, they are quoting the attention of other men. That means.
But then again, but when you have a woman who
options.
is married and still posting that, or in a relationship and that's
Women do that. And
If a woman is any married woman mwenye ameka tu picha mkatie ataingia box. Yeah.
They are quoting attention. You see, once she's announced that she's available, it means she wants that attention. So men need to attend. I made a post about women who are attention whores. So the women who are just addicted to the attention that men give them. And there are many ways of telling who they are. So men just need to be aware, know what you have. The problem we normally have is these things are happening, but some guys are totally oblivious. Alafu akiwachwa siku moja anasema,
where did it come from?
I didn't see this happening. I've been so good to you. How are you good to her? And she was posting all these photos on social media as shorts and thirst traps. Now you don't understand what's happening. So men need to be very aware. You need to be woke. You need to know what's happening. I normally say you need to know what time it is.
There's a photo you look at online. I've seen like kweka picha ni kitu mbaya. But their photos, the way they are uploaded, they are signaling a certain message. It's one thing to put a photo because you're feeling good, that's another thing. But there are certain photos, like a woman, she's propping up her sexiness, like the boobs, her hips, her ass, those things. And even the company that she keeps, it says a lot, like what's her mindset, If she's keeping that company where like, oh, they want to be seen in those high-end hotels, they want, you know.
And I posted also a post on thirst traps. Guys also don't understand thirst traps. A woman doesn't have to post a photo for it to be a thirst trap. A woman can just post a photo saying, I'm so bored, does anyone have ideas, you know, what can I do? You know? When the thirsty guys see that, they'll jump into the inbox. Tell them, mimi niko huku Nyalis, nikutume, I can send an Uber to come pick you. I'm a flight, ukuje huku, hata mimi niko huku, tujibambe. You know, women do that. So thirst traps take various forms. And because there are always men who are just there, who want such women, who want their attention, and they'll offer themselves.
But Jacob has talked about how the pill and abortion changed the game for women. Maybe next time we should also discuss what social media has done to women. You know, the same access a kienyeji yenye ako huku nyumbani ako the same access someone in Nairobi has. And you know, women are like constantly in the market, and there are so many men who are like horny, like, you know, and some of them have money, and some of them have like some fantasies to actualize, you know. So utapata like uligrow kuocha na dem fulani, she got ahead of you nini, but sisi umekuja umepata pesa, though she's married, you still have like a score to keep. And don't remind you of this girl existence, unaingia unapata usini msichana fulani, you know. So that like constantly putting themselves out there for the market is something that men need to educate themselves.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Mike Njue, great topic. Thank you so much, Njue. Thanks for tuning in. It was a pleasure to have you. Diambo Owino, I'm Tony, tuned in from Komarok. I think what Aliet is referring to is both biological and evolutionary. Women from early days are used to be provided for. So when they give you the box, in the opinion they have done enough, you are supposed to care for them. Okay, Kaji, that's one. Kindly expound on that statement, quote in quote, woman who has been raised properly.
Repeat again.
Kindly expound on that statement, woman who has been raised properly. Who is a woman who has been raised properly?
I think Silas has really dwelt on it pretty well. She's a woman who values her family. She's a woman who values, she places family above lifestyle. The challenge we have with many modern women, and this is also because of social media, which is normally fake. Social media has a lot of fake things. These women try to live lives that are not realistic. And when a woman doesn't value her family, she's going to break the marriage for very flimsy or frivolous reasons. Okay? So that's a woman who has been raised well, a woman who values her family, a woman who accepts graciously the stages of life. Like now you are a maiden, now you are a married woman, now you have children, now you are in your midlife, now you are a grandmother, without trying to stick to her youth and trying to keep the attention of men despite all these things happening to your life, you know? Yeah. Like I see so many women who are in the workplace, very good looking, very presentable, but then when her hair is growing gray, she doesn't dye it into black or try to present an image like she's younger than she is and so on and so forth. She presents herself as she is.
Who she is. She's confident for what she is.
She's confident who she is. She doesn't want any false advertisement about her age or about her status. That's a woman who has accepted who she is.
And don't forget the father. The father, like the father figure in her life, whether biological or the uncle, the grandfather. Like a properly raised woman will understand what masculine authority is. And women who don't understand what that is, she'll never know how to submit to you as a man. Submission is basically cooperation in marriage. It's not like it's she's trying to be like your slave or anything. You just try that thing. Like right now we have a president. Even if we don't like him, we know that he's our president, and we have to respect him. Man, even marriages work like that. A man has to be at the top, a woman is the neck, and you know.
And there are some women have father wounds where the mother was not divorced. The father was there, but maybe he was a drunkard or he was abusive and so on. So she was not raised well. Now that's what we mean. So a woman like that who the father abused and so on, she's going to bring all that trauma to you.
Or she had an overbearing mother who didn't respect the father. And in the past, men were forced to stay with their wives. So if she grew up in an environment where the mother didn't respect the father, and the father maybe was like a weak father, not a bad father, just weak. Then also she'll not, like when you try to enforce certain measures to ensure that your relationship and marriage works, she will not understand where you're coming from. And she'll try to question you, she'll try to challenge you. That's why like there's some men like they always drink and I'm Mr. kukunya pomba nasema mbona see I'm just with my girls and I'll come home. And you know, if you're a weak man you'll say well sawa bora tufike mapema. So she'll start coming home at 9, another time she'll come at 10, and then she'll come at 11, you know. She's just testing authority constantly because she doesn't understand we're trying to enforce these roles. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think it's 45 minutes. We have 45 minutes to 9 p.m. At least 10 minutes to time. I think we had some remaining cold truths from last week. I don't know if we can go back to them very quickly and try to see if we can run through.
Yes, the cold truths. Yeah. Maybe Silas also has some.
Silas, do you have some of the cold truths to men?
The cold truths to men?
Yeah, cold hard truths to men.
I think it's what you mentioned earlier is something that I want to emphasize to men that they should know women cheat, women can cheat, and women are capable of cheating. Yeah. Those are three distinct things. Women cheat, like they do cheat.
Just like men.
Just like men.
Actually, statistically, there is a dead hit between the rates of cheating between men and women.
And I strongly believe that women do it more because women are very selective with whom they sleep. Women are very selective, like they don't just sleep with everyone. So you'll find like the joke I normally use, like pale Kitengela, if there are like 1,000 sexually active women there, there's a bunch of like around 50 men, like it's one man for 5 girls. So they cheat regularly with this guy. The other guys will still get the game, but they don't get as much game time as this guy. So like for men, you have one man cheating with more women, but now we have women cheating more, but with less men. Like it's a very funny mathematics that it's very hard to explain, especially to women. So that's why you find like a woman at 25, her body count is like triple what a man at 25 has. Unless the man is like Noale like Koko at the apex. But if they're just average, better hapa chini. So that's something that men need to know, because guys are camping at my inbox. So my girlfriend is behaving this type of ways. Like there is struggling to understand like why I'm trying to do ABCD. Nimemlipia school fees, nimefanya nini. You know. So that's something that men need to internalize. Like it's a cold fact of life that women cheat. Anaweza kufanya ule mtoto mwenye si wako.
Yeah.
And funny enough, those women who get children outside, before she dies, she'll tell the child who the father is.
Yeah.
Men never get to know. But a woman, as long as anaishi na mtoto atakuwa mkubwa, she'll tell the child that this is not your biological father, and it messes up children vibaya sana. It has happened a couple of times out here. Yeah.
So women they have all the capacity.
They have all the capacity. You see, for us men, we're like an hardware. We do these things like it's known. Men cheat. Men go there and cheat. But for women, it's like mystery. You don't know what she's up to. You don't know what she's capable of. You know. So you just need to train yourself to know, like, if maybe a woman starts acting this way. Yeah. You know, like women are so smart or so clever. Like if she starts acting a certain way, like if your dog is barking differently, you know, it's being fed differently, you know. Yeah. So it's just having that knowledge enough that she can cheat. It can really liberate you as a man.
It can really help. Yeah, because I think what happened is that the society has dumbed us down, and I think that's also what's happening with Unplugged. Many men are realizing that the way we've been raised as men has put us at such a weak or disadvantaged position to be able to understand women. So guys just need to be aware that this is happening. And I think linked to that, the last thing I wanted to add before we go to the cold hard truths, one of the beliefs that destroy men is that the love of women is pure. This is linked to what we were saying earlier, that a woman cannot love you unconditionally. The way this thing destroys men is that, you see, for example, particularly guys who are going through divorce, many men are normally whitewashed into thinking that when a woman is the mother of your children, that woman is the most ennobled and respectable woman ever. So you find that even when guys, I'm going to give you the example that one of the divorce lawyers said. When his wife is a client, when his client is a wife or a woman, his job is very easy. Because the woman normally tells the lawyer that I want you to go after everything. You know, now during a divorce, like when a woman wants to prove that you are cheating, they're going to do a deposition for your girlfriends. Your phone records will be recalled. They're going to look at your internet, which sites did you visit, your emails and so on. She wants to destroy you and show that you are a very irresponsible man who was cheating on her. She's going to bring all the receipts and show that maybe you're not taking care of the bills and so on. When this lawyer, the client is a man, and the lawyer tells this guy, you know, your wife is doing this and this. She's coming after you. She's coming for everything. Can I also deposition and, put her on the stand and ask her question? Say, no, that's the mother of my children. That's the mother of my children. No, don't do that. So you find that because of men's unspoken code of honor, many men are destroyed in a lot of these divorce cases and proceedings because they elevate the love of a woman as very, very high. But in reality, when things don't work out, women are able to unleash their claws and their fangs, and they can bite and tear men into small pieces. But men still have that, they hold on to that ideal. Even actually today I was watching a video of Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese also got divorced, but Tyrese is so hurt that his wife walked away without looking back. You know, like when they were getting divorced, the house that they were living in, when she packed and she was trying to remind her that, you know, when we came to this house, we didn't even have money. And when the realtor needed to remove the sign, that for sale sign, we wanted to take a photo. How can you forget all that? So men need to remember that women are just like men. They're human beings. They can love you and they can also fall out of love. And the ideal of this love that men have in their heads, they need to remember that it is just that. It's a fantasy. It is not real. A woman can fall out of love with you and not want anything to do with you. Guys need to accept that.
And when she falls out of love, when she falls out of love, as a man, you need to take the L as quickly as possible and let her go. The moment you start fighting for her love, then she begins to feel very important. And now she'll destroy even further. So that's why anytime a woman wants to go, the biggest ever you can do, don't hold, like, of course it makes sense, like, to try and fight and rescue that. But if you see that she's made up her mind, because for a woman to leave you, the first thing she has to have in you is like a certain sense of disgust. Like she has to be disgusted by you and contempt. Actually, the proper word is disdain. Yani, nili madharau imepita yani. Because she has to make herself hate you so much so that she can leave you, because she has to rationalize that, what we're talking about. So I think what normally destroys men is they try to hold on to these women, and that's when where the damage comes in. So if you make peace with the fact that she's going, then just let her go. And then from there now, just go build your own dignity kando.
Don't struggle to keep.
No, don't. Like the moment you struggle, she begins to feel important. And when she begins to feel important, now she goes harder, like in destroying you. Like, I couldn't believe in destroying a man. If she wants to leave you, she wants to destroy you completely.
Yes. That's why Shakespeare would say, hell hath no fury.
Hell hath no like a woman. It's the other poet, what's his name? I forget. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Scorned,
yeah. Like when you see Nani Cohen ending up in that septic tank, people didn't quite understand the symbolic nature of that murder. Forget about the murder. Not to be being killed is bad enough, but to be killed and be dumped in a septic tank, entombed
with sewage.
Yeah, like that's the kind of hatred, disgust, and disdain a man can have. Like all these women we've been reading on the news, like when they arrange for the murder of the husbands.
They really have to hate you.
Like they have to, that hatred, like it has to possess them. So most women are not murderers, like they don't get to kill you, but they can kill your soul. And they can really devalue, undervalue. So that's why I tell men, like as a man, you have to understand your value yourself. If you don't understand your value and you depend on other people to explain to you what your value is, and maybe you want validation from women, then
you'll be frustrated.
Like I always tell men that seek validation maybe from men, but not from women. Because a woman can only validate you as long as she needs you. But if you time akutaki, I can even tell you like you are bad at sex.
She'll trash you. She'll say you have a pencil.
You have a pencil, a toothpick. She can say anything.
Just to destroy you. She'll go for the weakest, the softest spot. And you are soft underbelly.
So it's not. It's not like something to play with. So the best thing you can do is just kuwa heshima yako. Unajua sometimes as men kuna nomo yenye hujiheshimu. You let yourself go and you are emotional. Like men should never be emotional.
That
doesn't mean like you become like an object. Like you should never be emotional about these things when they happen. What is the right word? Like being sensible. Like
this thing Silas has said, I think is the most important thing. Even when I was preparing for Unplugged, preparing to publish Unplugged, it's this thing about men valuing themselves. You see, what normally happens because of our the way we are conditioned or raised. Men feel that women are so important and they forget about themselves. And many times we find there are so many guys who attach their importance to having women in their lives. And that's why they had a talk called identity. You find a guy, in the past, if you look at the story of Jesus, for example, Jesus was called the son of a carpenter. Men used to be identified using their professions, what they do for a living. And sometimes people, when you say you go to a party, someone say, hey, I'm so and so, I'm an accountant, I'm a surgeon, and so on. Now, we also have cases where guys identify themselves using their employers. And someone says, oh, I'm Kevin, I work for KTN, and so on. Then there are also men who say, okay, I'm Kevin, I'm a husband, I'm a father of 2 kids, and so on. So this guy identifies himself using his relationships. Now, when men get married, this is a message you get from both your wives and the church, that you are a married man. And many men feel they are ennobled when they identify themselves using their marriage and their relationships. And that's a big, big problem where men end up losing. So you find if you've already identified yourself, you're not complete without your wife and children. If she wants to leave you, you find these guys really beg. They go to great lengths to beg these women. Don't leave. What is it? What's the problem? If I cheated, I'm not going to cheat again. If you cheated, I'm going to forgive you, and so on. So men need to know what you base your value on. And what you base your value on is something that now when you're talking about the value of a man, it's normally the value that you're actually able to provide to the society. It's not what you give to your wife or to your children and so on. And that's why we had this truth that if you're not growing, you're dying. A man's duty is to be able to live a life of significance in this world. Keep on building yourself. Every day, every year, you need to be able to build on your value. Learn a course, learn a specific skill, improve your health and so on. Because if you're not growing, you are dying. That's what guys need to remember. And it's not about who you are related with. It's not about whether your wife loves you or whether you have children who are well behaved and so on. Because all that can go. And eventually you are left alone. And that's the other thing, that men need to also be able to enjoy their own company. You need to be able to enjoy your own company alone. Without a woman, without your family, without your children. Because failure to be able to enjoy yourself is what makes men attach their value to the relationships that they have, and that is what puts men in a very dangerous ground.
Right. Yeah. 2 minutes to 9 p.m. Tulikuwa na vyota pata time. Lakini sasa now there's a question here. Kevin Ayim, please comment on women brought up by single mothers. Were you the one who brought that up, or it was?
Yeah, I'd mentioned that. I don't know whether Silas want to talk about it.
Silas, do you have something to say about that?
It's normally a sensitive thing to talk about, but they're single mothers who have values. What matters is it doesn't matter who raised you. It's good to be raised by. It's good to be raised within a family setup, father, mother, siblings, and all that. But you see, life is not a straight line. You could be orphaned, you could lose a father at a young age, and all that. what you need to be worried as a man is like the case I gave you earlier of the lady I saw over the weekend. She's an acquaintance just in my hood with her mother drinking. The mother is there with the boyfriend. In the past there used to be boundaries. If your mom is a single mother, then she'll know where she'll be doing her business. But akikuja kwa nyumba, she's trying to raise you properly with values. So being raised by a single mother is not a problem. It also matters. What matters is the kind of single mother who's raising you. What kind of trauma your mother is dealing with.
And passing
Did she heal? Is she trying to pass on those things onto you, onto the daughter? And you see, girls speak a lot from their mothers. Okay. When you're marrying and you're visiting your mother-in-law, just observe your mother-in-law. You can easily tell what kind of mother your wife will grow into, So that's like there are cool single mothers who try to raise their daughters with values, regardless of what happened in the past. So that's something that you just need to know.
Okay. All right, Jerry Ndururi, now that we are on that topic of cheating, how do men heal from being cheated on? Because they say the Kevos and Brios, we are a result from some women who broke these men.
How do men heal from being cheated on?
Yeah.
You just accept it's part of reality. One thing guys need to know is that you're not the first and you're not the last. And don't feel sorry for yourself. The healing that most guys need is because what you need healing for is not from being cheated on. You need healing from your own beliefs. Like if you have one-itis, for example, then you need to heal from it. But when you realize the way women move in terms of women loving value, and where they get their survival, then many men will be able to get over it. So the healing that you need is healing from your own beliefs, because it's those beliefs that are hurting you. Yeah,
it's not from the act of you being cheated on.
No, it's not from the act of being cheated on, because the belief, particularly one-itis, is very dangerous, and also believing that women love in a pure way, or having an ideal woman. Having this, what we call the unicorn, is usually what's going to hurt you. And that's why we are telling guys that they need to unplug from these false beliefs, because those beliefs will really hurt you.
And to add on to that, the first thing you need to understand is to try and sort of like do a diagnosis, like why did she cheat? Maybe she cheated because you lost your frame. You become too fat. You're not performing, like you're not servicing her properly. So that means that that doesn't mean that she should cheat, but it's just a signal. Like if you don't correct, like maybe for your future relationships, maybe you need to get
that will still happen again.
Like you need to be physically fit and all that. Number two, I always tell men, don't take these things too personally, because your values and my values are totally independent.
Yeah.
You would marry a woman, and you see women, when you marry them, sometimes they're very good at acting, especially if she's an economic refugee. She can completely recalibrate her values to be with you until such a time she feels like you've lost your frame and the man she married, and then she reverts back to type. So as a man, don't ever take these things. Even for women, like the cheater normally cheats for their own reasons, like 90% of the time. A man who cheats and a woman who cheats, they do it for their own convenience. And they can try to rationalize, my spouse is like this. But the first thing, like, is their values, because by the time someone is doing that, it means their values. And you can't, like, discuss these things with your spouse, It means that your values can allow you to do that. So if you are, especially for women now, because the men who are cheated on normally are good men. It's never like the bad boys. No one cheats on a bad boy. Unless maybe it's a game they are playing. Because bad boys, they are good at their game, so they know.
And even bad boys are not left.
So for you, just as a man to know, hapa niligonga kwa pabaya, and you move on. You should never let that thing define you. Because we've been made to believe that if you're cheated on, you're less of a man.
Yeah.
Because even politicians, when they're attacking each other, atona kuliwa bibi, nini. It's meant to signal that, but you're not less of a man. Yeah.
They cheat, even men who are high value are cheated on. And also, I've also seen this phenomenon where guys say that, people say that maybe womanizers are bad people. One thing guys need to know, where there are no options, is no loyalty. You'll find a man who is out of shape, and he doesn't do anything for himself. He doesn't take care of himself. He's not doing anything to increase his value. A man like that is not desirable to most women. So that man will be very, very comfortable and sit smugly judging people like Tiger Woods, who have had a lot of problems with women. But it's because Tiger Woods is at the top, many women want him. You don't say now that you are more moral than him.
I think you are Tiger Woods.
Yeah, because you're going to say this guy is immoral and you're moral, and yet you don't have options. That's why we say where there is no options, there is no loyalty. Yeah.
Right. 5 minutes past 5 p.m. 5 minutes past 9 p.m. Cardinals one, as well as women who have been raised by single fathers, especially when the father has not remarried again. Ben BC, squeeze Silas amekuwa mololo. Forget my neck again. All right. Gerald Bitok, I appreciate your candid conversation. There is a lot for everyone to learn. All right. We are parting shots, gentlemen. Start with you, Silas.
I think we move this to Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay.
How does it feel?
Sounds like a good day of the week. And I think, over the weekend, there are so many distractions. Yeah. The football and all that. So I think guys can tune in and we can keep on sharing. And they should put out what they are, spread the word, read our books, listen to all these things, because all of us are learning. It's not like we know everything, but we're learning from each other. So they should keep the conversation going in the comment section, ask those questions, offer interjections, give us their views,
Also remind them that we're coming for a live soon.
Yeah, we'll be doing a live soon at a very convenient venue for everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Very soon we'll be coming to Mtaani, so tokelezeni. And we need to also need to understand that for these conversations to continue, someone has to step out of their comfort zone and ensure that they can also be supporters. Support the conversation, support the things that people are doing, like the time you guys are spending to write those books. You could be writing anything else. Women and feminism. So by buying the books, you're also supporting the conversation to continue going. Also coming to that live recording that we'll be doing in the center that you can see us live and you can ask those questions when you're looking at us in our eyes. Tunakuwa na pia macho tunajua shida yako iko wapi. We can diagnose better when you look at you.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, so sure that you show up when we call you up for that live conversation that we'll be doing. Okay, Jacob.
Yeah, so Thursday, I think we can work with Thursday. We can try that. What I'd like to, as a parting shot, I think most men just need to take time and understand your value. Many men walk around without knowing what their value is. Look at the example of Will Smith. Will Smith doesn't know his value. That is why his wife can sleep with his son's friend in his own house and embarrass him on live television. So as men, you really need to take time and understand your value. What are you worth in this world? And if someone also does not appreciate your value, then you should be with someone who does. That's very, very important. Yeah.
Okay. All right. As usual, our good friend Moses Gerald has done a summary of the show. So I'll run through it very quickly. Then believe that destroy men, 16th March 2023. One, that when you elevate a woman, she will elevate you. When you elevate a woman, she will also elevate expectations of you. And if you don't also upgrade, a hypergamous imperative will push her to seek higher grounds. So ensure that you're always the one on higher ground. Number two, on etis, they believe that there is only one person meant for them, aka soulmate. Get rid of this belief that you have someone special for you on this planet or you will perish. All right. Three, expecting reciprocity. We have been conditioned to think that we treat women nicely, they will do the same, but it's not always the case. So as a man, do good to her, but don't expect similar treatment. Have no expectations. Remember that women can be solipsistic. So if you expect that she will reciprocate that you did for her, you will be heartbroken. Refer to brief false law. Okay, 4. The women play hard to get. Women break rules for alphas, but set them for betas. If she's setting rules for you, then she probably doesn't see you as the best option. When she's attracted to you, she'll show you some signals. Number 5, the women want nice guys. In reality, women loathe nice guys. They don't be a guy who pedestalizes women. Your heart will be grinded to dust if you are a nice guy, but a guy who is constantly pursuing his purpose and vision, and let a woman come in and complement that. Number 6, that you should marry someone because you love them. Bro, Love is not enough to sustain a long-term relationship. As a man, choose character over chemistry, because a beauty won't matter when you are down or when you are sick. It's a character that will make us stick to you when the going gets tough. Number 7, they believe that you must spend money on women. Don't negotiate or bargain desire. Don't spend your valuable resources trying to make a woman love you. If you lose your resources, you'll also lose her, because she was with you for the resources, not that she was genuinely attracted to you. And actually, Silas added a rider that you can't buy what belongs to the streets. It will always go back to the streets. Number 8, that if you do what she wants, she won't leave you. It's a lie. Don't struggle beyond your own capacity to meet unrealistic demands. Prove that you are valuable and hope that she chooses you. But if she doesn't, take your loss as a man and move on. And if you try to meet her demand, she will keep on goal shifting. Now utashout, man. Utashot. 9, the women cheat for emotional reasons. That women cheat for emotional reasons. That's number 9. Belief. Now, the 9th belief. Women don't cheat only for emotional reasons. There are many reasons as to why she can cheat. But what we are saying is don't fall for this explanation. Don't think you are special, and always have situational awareness. Number 10, equal partnership are best. A 50-50 relationship, that's the 10th belief that destroy men. 50-50 relationship can never work. Actually, it doesn't, that you are also splitting your leadership role as a man, and this will catalyze the downfall of your relationship. The burden of performance is for you as a man, and not for the woman. Number 11, that love of women is pure. Women can love and hate you equally. If you not, she has changed. Don't try to rationalize actions. Instead, take your L and move on. All right. And B, as a man, you can't keep a woman from cheating, but the best thing you can do in order to best handle the situation in case it presents itself is by increasing your value. When you are a higher value man, it means you have options, and so there will be competition anxiety, and she wouldn't want to leave you because she knows she's not your only option. That's it. Even if you are a high value man, if you don't choose the right woman, then no amount of effort can save you. Vet the woman you bring into the table. Okay, furthermore, bring into your life. All right. P.S. These beliefs are part of the parcel of the comforting lies men have been conditioned to believe for every long time, and they are destroying a lot of men. Of course, this list is not exhaustive, but as a man, you need to unplug from these comforting lies. Save yourself the pain and agony of learning that these concepts the hard way by investing in knowledge. Wow. Thank you so much, our good brother Moses Gitau, for always paying attention and making the summary. You are always the audience, or the audience of the night, or the fan of the night. Thank you so much. Francis Wandera, are we formally having the conversations on Thursdays as from this week? Yes. We have looked at all the situations that men go through. On Saturdays, you have football, you have a lot of the distractions coming on, and we realized that a lot of distractions over the weekend. So we've decided that maybe it's better, but also we want to hear your opinion, that you said that maybe it's better to have these conversations on Thursday nights, so that every other person is able to be part of it when there are less distractions on the table or on the menu, right? Gerald, need to give to you, man. Awesome. Haya, tuma sisi tuko tayari kupokea zawadi kama kawaida. Kuna hapa tunaweza pokea zawadi equalizer son. Please let us know if there is a good time to discuss making children with a career woman. Then we'll get to that next week. We'll look at that next week. But I still also want to remind you that you can get the books by this great gentleman unplugged from Jacob Aliet. We had given you a number earlier, but you can go to his page and inbox him or DM him, or you just pay for the book. I saw there's a pay bill there. Then someone will ensure that your book is delivered when you leave your details. So you can get the 50 Memos to Men by good brother Silas Nyanchwani. There's also Man About Town. There's Exorcised. There's a number of books that you can get that can ensure as a man that you get to build up your value by learning. There's no other way that you can be better as a man apart from ensuring that you can acquire and have knowledge on how best you can be a man. How best you can build your frame by interacting with content that builds you, that gives you a space where you can have a discussion and also be able to stand for yourself as a man. A lot of men these days, they've been conditioned not to stand for themselves, not to stand for what you feel, not to stand for the principles that you have, to always believe that someone has to come in and, re-engineer your software and your stand as a man and your beliefs. Okay, there's been Men Only. We'll be coming to you every single Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's me, Gerald Bitok. We've been having Jacob Aliet and Silas Nyanchwani. Until tomorrow on Sheria Wiki. It should continue tomorrow on Sheria Wiki. We'll be having a Kurwa Court, and also we'll be having Aluachier tomorrow as we discuss the legal happenings of the week and also looking at the political scene and economic situation and the state of the nation generally. Until then, bye-bye. See you tomorrow on The Tackle. We love you.